The MPC 2500 in 2020. Why?
The sequence.
What is going on, people? So there's a lot of classic gear that I want to review. So leave a comment below if you are interested in classic reviews, because I have plenty of gear to do reviews on that you'll probably like and are highly underrated. And I do believe that the MPC 2500 is very underrated. Most people go for the MPC 2000 XL, or if you got the money and you want to splurge, the MPC 60 and 3000 respectively. But the 2500 has a brief history that's really good. Came out in 2003, so right about the breaking point of different machines coming out, the computers getting better at making music, and it just left this in an awkward place, and that was an awkward time for hip-hop altogether. Though some of my favorite producers actually used the 2500 for production, one of which is Ninth Wonder, which used to be a part of the FL gang, and then he moved on to the MPC gang. Then the other one is The Alchemist, which has fire tracks. But the person that probably made this the most famous is A-Rap Music. And we all know why A-Rap Music is a beast on the 2500. I know a lot of you guys are going to be tripping and say, whoa, don't you have the MPC-1 and the Live, and aren't they better? Yeah, but that doesn't mean that this piece of gear doesn't deserve its place in my own studio as well as maybe even yours. There's a lot of good things and bad things I'm going to talk about in this video, so stick with me there. So the IOs on this are actually incredible, and we're going to go from left to right. Let's start with the digital in here and the digital out, which these are RCA jacks, by the way, and you can plug up like a CD player or whatever you want to it, and you'll be shocked of the quality. Other than that though, you have your analog in right here, which is your record in, and these are 1/4" jacks, so beware of that. If you're going to plug up anything to it, do it right. And then you have your standard stereo out, and then you have assignable mix outs. This is incredible. 8 of them. And just for a 2003 machine here, you have a USB-B to type A, though you will have to have the proper OS for that, an old OS, because drivers are rare out there. I haven't found any. And then you have four MIDI outs. 4 MIDI outs on this 5-pin DIN. Incredible. And then 2 MIDI ins. So this is actually a beast. And if we look at the power source, you can see that this is where I burnt them at, because they used the wrong cord and they didn't have any other cord in possession that actually could output the proper voltage. And this is the AC 100 to 240 volt. So you can actually use something that has 60 hertz, like a desktop plug or something like that. And those have changed over the years. And you have the power button on the back. And then on the front, you can add a CD drive. I don't have the CD drive, of course. You know, I would have made off like a super fat rat if I had that. But what's not apparent is if you open up this chassis, you can put it in a hard drive right here. But here is the CF card reader. You can actually use a lot of different cards to this modern day. But this is one thing that I don't know why AKAI hasn't done on the recent ones, and that's the foot switch. Holy crap. You got 2 of them. 2 of them. And you have your 1/4" jack in for your phonos, your headphones. This is the MPC 2500 in the flesh here. We're gonna turn it on and we're gonna witness all of its glory. One thing I will say is that this loads faster than the MPCs of today, like the MPC Live X and 1. It's already loaded, but it's very simplistic, so don't get it twisted. The other thing I would like to note is that the screen, of course, is adjustable. And I don't know why they haven't done that on the newer ones outside of the X. Like the Live should have an adjustable screen. The 1 should have an adjustable screen. But as you can see, it's really nice. The OS here is JJOS, of course, and it only has 16 megabytes of RAM. So for people that complain about the newer systems, when you go back into the ancient times, this is what you get. But it is expandable as well as the hard drive. So one of the things I'm going to do is just show you how you would load your sounds. So I do have a lot of sounds on here, and if you don't have your sounds converted properly, the WAV files will not play. So right here, I have drums from MXX Audio. So what I'm gonna have to do is convert these over. So MXX Audio, could you please make it 16-bit 44.1 kilohertz when you have your drum kits? Thank you. So as you can see, this kit right here by MXX Audio is in 16-bit. What you see me do is press a pad, which the pads feel pretty decent. I think these pads do need a new fleshed out look for them, and the prices of the gear for the MPC2500 is actually pretty cheap. I have it linked in the description box. MPC stuff is where I usually get my stuff from, and other places as well, like eBay. So if I want to assign the sound here, I would just go ahead and press do it, and then assign the sound to a pad. Just hit the pad that you want to assign it to, and then hit yes. So that's a pretty simple process, and I'll do that for the kick as well. And now we're done, so I can just go ahead and press main. So it's really easy to set up. And of course, I can set up the BPM and stuff like that. This display is just incredible. I like the plain display. And one other thing, especially in JJOS, is that, and this is one thing I would like to complain about the newer ones, the new MPCs, you can only adjust day and night. You have daytime and nighttime. This one, you can adjust the brightness any way you want by holding stop in the data wheel, just using the data wheel to scroll up and down. So I'm going to just scroll up and down to show you how it looks there. Now that we're in here and we have sounds, I notice I do have to replace the pad sensor. It seems like they're instead of full level, because I am very aggressive. Let's just go ahead and record something in here. I'm going to go ahead and overdub. Now that I have a drum line, let's go ahead and record a sample in here. I'm not going to use my turntable, though I could use that. I will talk about my new setup later, but let's go ahead and record a sample in so you can see how it looks like when you chop it up. So I'm going to go ahead and hit mode, and then I'm going to hit record pad number 5, which is pad number 5 for record, by the way. I mean like record pad number 5. So now you have the sampler open. Now I can just go ahead and play my sample here and test it out. So now that I'm in here, you can see my voice moving in the meter here. So if I wanted to record my voice, I could do that as well. Sampling process done. So next thing I'm gonna do is I can name it something. I can name it either keep it sample 1, or I can just name it whatever. So I'm just gonna go to that feature. So let's go to that and change the name, change it to bad. Just something real quick. You'll see the quick workflow that you can do. Not really easy, not like the touch screen on the new MPCs or anything like that, but it's doable. You can choose to assign to a pad if you want to already, but I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is play it back. So let's keep it. And now you just go to mode, trim, and then you can trim it up and see where you can start from there. And now I could go into edit here. Instead of going to discard, of course, I would go into extract, or I would go and make it normalized. So let's normalize it. Going into the chop screen here, found out something very interesting. Sometimes this display has a bug to where it won't show the WAV file, which in this case it actually makes it very difficult to chop up, but you can do it by ear. And you also can adjust the amount of slices that you have. Let's go and go down to different increments here and hold shift to get faster increments. Done chopping, so I'll just go into edit here, and then I would choose either convert to slice samples or convert to patch phrase. I'm going to go ahead and convert it to a different program here, and I'm going to do F2. And from here, it'll say create a new program. Say no or yes. So I'm gonna make it a new program. Boom. And there you go. Go into your pads, of course, main, and go and select whatever you have. Of course, you can do all the adjustments like any other MPC. Just go into your program, and then you can adjust them all at once here. And I'm gonna go and adjust. I'm gonna tune them up so I can get a faster range. All right, so let's go ahead and lay something out here. Record, play, start. Boy, it's something about these older machines that just really just take you to hip hop, man. So there are other features that I really like about this. Of course, you know, you can adjust different things by going in the program. You can adjust the tunes of stuff. So just press the pad, go to different features, use your cursor. You can have up to 4 layers as far as one pad, but you know, that's going to take up more memory, and this only has, again, by default, 16 megabytes. You have filter sections too as well. So if I wanted to filter out this chop, I can turn on the filter or turn on that effect or whatnot. Now the effects and the filters do not sound very good. I ain't gonna lie to you. Okay, so I just of course you can adjust your chops or the layer of the sample. You can do the overlay and overlap and stuff like that. So, and of course this does have track mutes too as well. Like if you want to do track mutes and stuff like that, you have a dedicated track mute button. This has 54 buttons versus like the MPC Live 2 that has 27 buttons, which are more than the original Live, and then the MPC 1, which is their entry level MPC right now, and that has 33 buttons. So track, I'm going to show you how that sounds like too as well. Let's go. And then all the other functions that you know very well from any MPC, especially if you are an MPC 2000 XL head and you just can't get an MPC 2000 XL right now. Well, guess what? It's inside of the 2500, and you will be surprised of the workflow on this thing. It already looks very good too as well. I mean, look, it's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous built machine. But overall, great machine, and I haven't even scratched the surface as far as its features yet. So tell me how you feel about this video. I'm going to talk about my pros and cons about this gear. Obviously a con, a lot of people always bring up that the new MPCs like the Live X and 1, it only has 2 gigs of RAM, and that's a big deal because they can't do what they want to do on it. Try producing on one of these right here. This has 16 megabytes stock, 16 megabytes, and you can only expand it to 128 megabytes. So that lets you know of how legendary these machines are and how talented the producers were in the past. So if you actually look back to things even older than this and you can hear the production and you love it, yeah, stop complaining. The biggest thing I really like about this is, as far as the pros go, the amount of IOs that you get on this. I don't even understand why the newer MPCs don't have as many IOs as this. The only one that comes close is the MPC X. I don't get it. I really don't get it. The other thing, the adjustable screen, really good. I think it's really dope, and I actually like the default OS the way it is. I do enjoy the newer MPC's OS too as well, but this was damn near perfection for what it was. And if they was updating it to this very day, which they are if you have JJOS, yeah. Speaking of which, the old AKAI OS in here wasn't very good, so you can get the JJOS, and I have a link in the description box for that, for free. You get version 3.13 for free. Of course, you know, the cons of this would be the amount of RAM that you get, but you can expand it up to 128 megabytes, and again, that's the charm of older machines like these. I would rather have this over something like the Electron Digitac, which that's trying to be this, but it's not this, and this has the functionality of what you would really want. I'm sorry, I hate to be that guy to do that in the middle of this video, and then the effects on this, they're not very good at all. I don't really like the filter either, but you know, the filter is usable enough for whatever you wanted to use it for. And yeah, those are the shortcomings of this machine. Not as good multiple effects as you would think, especially compared to the newer MPCs.
Do I give this the stamp of approval?
I mean, if you buy this for $125 like I did, then absolutely. But even at $700, it will be a good buy.